So I'm thinking about trying to get my Valentine's stuff done. I have done two test patterns that I need to post today. Get pictures and post them, and leave any comments for issues I had with it or whatever. I have a third pattern test. I've never done pattern tests before, and then I recently started doing them, and they're a lot of fun, but they are distracting from my primary focus, which should be I have a special order I need to finish up. It's not due yet, but I still would like to get it done. I have another one that I wanted to make for a friend. It doesn't necessarily have a timeline, but it's been a few months since we talked about it, so I'd like to get that done. And I have Valentine's Day coming up. I never heard back from the big market that I was really hoping to get into, so I'm very frustrated about that because I've been trying to get into that for years. And it sounded hopeful, but not getting it this time. Okay, I keep trying to start this video, but I realized like my vacuum was going, my dehumidifier was going, the fan over at the stove was going, and I'm like, why is it so loud in my house right now? Anyway, yeah, so I've been like super distracted, trying to get too many things done. I always do this. I have a bunch of graphics that I really wanted to print out. I had recently purchased a label maker, but I forgot to purchase the labels, so I'm waiting for those to come in, but I still need to do the graphics for them. And I got a thermal printer so I could make permanent signs to be able to put up, and they'll be more durable because it tends to be very windy. So I have a lot of things I wanted to do, and I don't feel like I'm going to be able to get them done by now because I have my market, the one Valentine's market that I did get into, which I do not anticipate making a lot of money at, is Wednesday, and I have a hair appointment Wednesday. I cannot change it. So that basically gives me today. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I think, but that's gonna like detract quite a few hours because I have to drive 45 minutes to the doctor and back, and they take forever, blah, blah. It's gonna eat like half my day. So today is like my only super, super dedicated at home day that I get to like hyper focus. So I'm trying to get this sweater done. So this is a hexagon cardigan by Passionate Kelsey, and it's just about done. I realized after doing the border that I wasn't changing direction, so oops on that one. I was supposed to get to the end and then change direction, and I just like it broke my brain. Also, one of the skeins, and this is from Premier Parfait Chunky, is so broken up. It was pissing me off, and I'm so bummed. I opened a second skein, and it's got some breaks in it, but the first skein had 0 breaks in it. So that was like really disappointing, because this has like a bunch of errors in it from the mistakes, or from the these are like sticking out from the breaks. So I'll contact them. They're very good about replacing items when they're bad. I need to find the lot number for this particular skein. So yeah, I don't know. I'm putting that off to the side and dealing with it later. And I decided that I wanted to make a black and white octopus. They look really cool, and people around here have a big thing with black and white. So yeah, I'm gonna get another octopus done. I finished my Valentine's Day octopus. I don't like it as much as I thought I would. The Bernat pinks, I don't like the Bernat pinks, and I'm trying to use up my Bernat because I think I'm gonna permanently move to Premier Basics Chanel Brights. My rabbits are running amok down here. Let's see if I can show you. Mira, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you tearing at my boxes? Those aren't your boxes. That's not your box. You don't eat my boxes. Mira, don't eat my boxes. Anyway, my rabbit is being ultra mischievous, so that's fun. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I want to get this octopus done. I don't know if I'm gonna do the apron. So I made all these granny squares for an apron. I started sewing it. I realized I was doing it wrong. So I need to take it back apart and take a look at the pattern again and see. It might be like a really fast make, and it's a high cost item, which would be great. I'd like to make sure I have some good high cost items, which I don't really have a ton of high cost items, but I have a bunch of WIPS of high cost items that I could finish. However, historically, I make more overall on the small stuff, and I have a lot of medium stuff right now. Oh my gosh, my rabbit is running around like a psycho. Mira, are you okay? She just ran out of the room and like stomped at me. Yeah, I had considered making a bunch of little small stuff, and I started to, but I didn't really, I wasn't excited about it. Let me grab them. All right, so I finished this guy, and I was thinking about putting like a little heart right here, and I liked it, but you know, I don't know. It's okay. I think the black and white one I'll like more. I did a pattern test for this guy. So I need to take a picture and put up the notes. I did a pattern test for this guy. Suspicious chick. Mallard. Suspicious mallard. I made these for myself, but now that I am a little more familiar with making them, I think I can make them even better. So I'm gonna go ahead and sell these. I have no idea how much I'm selling those for. I made a ton of scrunchies because these I do sell pretty well. These are like dude who isn't quite sure he knows his woman presence. I get a lot of those where they're like, she wears a lot of scrunchies and that's pretty, so I'm gonna get it for her. I made brown for the first time because I suspect they're gonna do well. Made purple. And I have 5 of each. Well, that's interesting. I'm missing some. Okay, I will go back. They might be in the WIP pile, actually. Okay. I finished this blanket, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. So pretty. It's a shell stitch, which you can't really pick up the stitch definition as much, but just the way that it lays, it's like super thick and super soft. I got this to make a bow to wrap this up with, so that will be super. This is my business colors, like this is my part of my color palette. Let's see, I made a bunch of these, but I did not put sprinkles on them, so I think they're cute, but I think they might be cuter with the sprinkles. I don't know. Let me know what you think. To sprinkle or not to sprinkle. This one was super cute. This came with that same pattern. It's supposed to be like a little heart. Kinda doesn't really look like a heart. I think I have a better heart pattern that I could use for that. So that's cute. Oh, I have one more of these and a couple more of these. So yeah, let's just double check. I have 5 purple, 5 red, and 1, 2, 3, 4 brown. There's got to be more in the WIP box, so let me go find that. All right, side note, I got these from Trader Joe's and they collapse and they fit in my cube, like behind my cubes perfectly at the market. Super cool. I am figuring out how I work so that I can put things away when everyone gets home and I don't just have it everywhere because I work in the living room. And so far it seems like 4 of these is perfect. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I will get back to that. Give me a second. Okay, yes, WIP. This needs that end tucked in. And then I made these with the Dollar Tree, what is that called? Let me go figure that out. It is the Just Chanel from Premier. I hated working with this. It's so sticky on my hook. I switched to the plastic hook and it was okay, but it was not fun to work with. It didn't glide very well. And I know I've gotten this before and thought, oh, I don't like that. And I couldn't remember why. They had really pretty colors. So super cute colors for scrunchies, but it was not a joy to make them. So that's why I ended up making that little purse. So I'm trying to use it up. So I think what I'm going to do today is I'll use up as much of that as possible to just get rid of it. And I've been using a bunch of scrap yarn, can't talk. Suddenly had an accent that I don't, or didn't earn. So, yeah, I think I want to keep getting through scrap yarn. So I'm doing a lot of stash busting for the smaller stuff. I think there's probably like really cute, quick, Valentine's makes that I'm missing. So I'm going to go back on Instagram and see if I can find some of those freebies. I will finish these. Now that I'm looking at these, I do think they need sprinkles. It's just so time consuming doing sprinkles. So I'm going to put that back in the WIP bucket. So here's what I was going to say about the WIP bucket, or the boxes in general. I think I need 4 boxes. I need 4 of these. I think I have 3 right now. So I need to buy 1 more when I go back out to California next week. But this is great to have 1 for WIPs. So like these are like WIPs right now that need to get done right now. This is an order that needs to get done right now. And I went ahead and put the yarn that I need for the embroidery. I don't know where my other embroidery yarn is. That's a problem. I need to go on a hunt because I was not being super well organized, so it's somewhere in my other stuff. I also need to prep everything for my show. Okay, I'm sorry. I took my ADHD medication, but no one can tell. So I didn't even try to get my lighting right today. I don't care. I am struggling to function as a human. 1 box for WIPs. This is what I'm trying to get at. 1 box for finished items, especially when I'm market prepping. And then I have, everything's disorganized. 1 box will be for all of my hard items, or, you know, the safety eyes and the hooks and the hardware stuff. So any of the hardware stuff, that will go in another box with my laptop when I'm like closing it up in the charger, and like a phone charger and the stand that I have this phone on. Like all of those miscellaneous items will go into another box. And then I have the yarn that needs to be returned box. So as I'm done with something, it's like, okay, let's say I just finished this, and I grab up all the yarn and I toss it in a box to be put away later. That's helpful. Because sometimes I'll go, oh shoot, I forgot that I need to do sprinkles, and then I just quickly go grab stuff out of there, instead of pulling more from the shelf, and it has to be reorganized again later. So yeah, so that works out really well. I'll put this in my WIP stash because I need to take pictures. It's not done. This is done. This is super cute. I need to reorder more of this stuff. It is kind of expensive and I don't know what to charge for this. I'm inclined to say like $85 because the yarn alone was like $30. And then the time to put this all together. So I'm real inclined to say 85. But 65 seems to be pretty common. 150 for a bigger baby blanket. This is not that big. This is really a kind of like a a crib blanket, you know, one that you can like toss on top of the baby if they need to be warmer, or you can just set on the crib to make it look pretty. It's a good accent blanket. So yeah, I don't know. And I might just give this to my friend for like nothing with her order. Oh, I shouldn't do that. I really shouldn't do that, but it's outside of the original budget that we set. And I feel, I don't know, super manipulative being like, hey, I also made you this super awesome thing that I know for sure you're gonna want that's way out of your budget. I don't know. I gotta go figure out my life. Oh, here's the gradient. Here's the problem though. Which one was the bad one? They probably have different lot numbers. They don't. They have the same lot number. Interesting. Okay. Cool. Well, that made my life easier. So I'm going to put in a email to Premier today. I will get this replaced. Oh my God, Mira. Stop eating my boxes. Mira, stop. She knows her name. She's running away in shame. Need to take a picture of this, so that's going in the WIP bucket. I think I just mixed up what is WIP and what is not WIP. Yeah, I did. Okay. This is almost done, but also going in the WIP bucket. What I tend to do is bag these up so that I don't, especially when it's like this, so it doesn't get all over the place. So my husband says I'm a bag lady. He is correct. I am a bag lady. I have a bag from just about everything. This is Edinburgh Art Shop from Scotland. And it just brings me so much joy when I'm out and about in the world. And, well, that's done. Okay. And I get to use stuff like this. Where? Uh-oh. I don't know what happened to the bag that went with this, that has the, like, thing on it. Okay, well, that's a later problem. So putting it in the bag, getting rid of it for right now. I don't know if I'm going to sell this. I might just wear it. It's pretty. I like it. I wanted to sell it, but because so much of the glitter broke on it, like, I don't know. This is going to take a lot of work. It's a big side quest, so we'll put that away. These are done, but those all need to be priced, and I just don't have the capacity to deal with that. This needs to be caked. So we'll put this over here in the deal with it later pile. And then this is just full of gadgets, eyes, scissors. Hold on. So I have, this is my work bucket. So as I'm working, especially if I'm like, okay, I've got to quickly go walk away, I will toss everything in here. And then on this is where I put all of my thingies. And then this is where I toss them when I'm all done. So if I'm like all done, need to put everything away, toss that in here, toss that in there. This is, yeah, just a whole bunch of hooks that need to go in here now. This is what I do, like I'll toss stuff in here to go, and I'll toss it in here when I'm working on it. Here, I made this. This is when I was getting into resin, and I did it wrong. It was like this top part wouldn't dry. It's still kind of weird. So I just stuck glitter on top, and I couldn't sell it because it was too weird. But what I have been slacking on is these, which is, I'm supposed to be putting down the hook size, so, and the, you know, what I'm doing and what color it is. So I'm doing like the hexagon sweater for this one. and I don't know where my clips are. I will go find them later. So that's done. I've got more hair ties so I can do more scrunchies. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to get to that, but I have a bunch of Bernat Velvet. I have the regular Bernat Velvet. I wanted to make white scrunchies, so yeah, I need to get to that. I have the Bernat Baby Velvet, which is thinner and does not make as voluptuous of a scrunchie. Mira? No, that was Ren. Ren, don't eat my boxes. Oh my God, my bunnies. I am the crazy bunny lady. Let's look at bunnies again. Mira, are you getting into trouble? Ren, what are you doing? What are you getting into over there? That's not for you. You causing trouble? You causing trouble? A little bit? Do you want some lettuce? I'll get you some lettuce. Do you want some lettuce? Nom 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 nom. Okay, I have lost a little bit of motivation, so had a little bit of a bunny break. But I have, here's a story time for today. I lost my, what hook I'm using? I'm using this hook. Okay, once again, all of my devices are on and it's loud. Okay, my bunnies put themselves away in their enclosure, which is great. So they're gonna stop ripping at everything. Okay, story time. I am obviously a handmade seller. I do everything from scratch. It takes forever, and I don't have enough time in the day to do all the many super cool things that I really want to make. So you know what? I'm trying to do a story enough to count. Okay, so I live in an area where there is a very exclusive club, let's say, that has a farmer's market that it took me, well, they had like multiple different market things. I got to do one after pestering forever to finally get in, and I live in the area that this is done, so like it's on my block kind of thing. So I live here, I know everyone, I sell to these people who are their market. So it took forever. I finally had to like go above everybody's head and go to their boss's boss and be like, dude, what the hell? And he's like, of course you should be able to do the market. I don't understand why you can't. So he sent them a message and they're like, what? Oh, we had no idea that you've been emailing us for a year and asking us in person repeatedly. So he was like, yeah, let her in, duh. So yeah, so I got to do that one, and then it was another year goes by where I'm trying to get in, and they're not letting me in. And I'm like, what the hell, guys? This is rude. This is absolutely rude. So again, I had to like go to their boss's boss. This time I didn't go all the way up to the top. I was like, dude, what the hell? I've been trying to get in for a year. And he was like, guys, of course she lives here. Of course let her in. Like, I've got good product. People buy my stuff. It's not like I have garbage. And I have a high clientele within the freaking market that they are marketing this market to. So, so yeah, they're like, what? Oh, we had no idea. Of course you can go in. So yeah, so now I go to this market every month for the most part. There was one month where I did not receive an email and showed up anyway. There was a slight chance that it was a mistake because somebody else who's a regular didn't get an email, and I think that may have been a fluke. So whatever. Also a resident, also somebody who lives in the community that these markets are for. So, and it's a decent sized community, but it's not that big. It's like small town. It's a small town thing where, um, everybody knows everybody. So it's it's real obvious when you have a professional. Did I just do single crochets on those? Oh my God, I have no idea what I'm doing. If you have somebody who sells or works from home and has a product that everybody's aware of and isn't at the market for people like that, that's weird. That's super weird. People notice. And I don't know why the people who run this are so anti the allowing the people who live in this community to thrive. I don't know if it's intentional necessarily. Feels like intentional. Feels real personal. However, there is a chance it is just outright negligence. So either way, it's not okay. They've been doing better at communicating and organizing. I grew up doing markets and doing festivals, booking vendors. I'm familiar with the contracts inside and out, setup, tear down, expectations, legalities, all of the things. I'm very familiar with all of the things. So the fact that these people are being hired and paid to do this job and do it so poorly is pretty upsetting. Especially within this community, we have a lot of transplants. We have a lot of people coming for the company town, and their spouses. A lot of them are coming from entertainment backgrounds and are also familiar with the contracts, the legalities, the setup, tear down of events and vendors, and are just boggled at how these people got the job in the first place. So, not trying to be mean, but it's realistic. If you're going to hire somebody for a job, hire somebody who knows what they're doing and are qualified, and listen to your community. And they don't listen to the community. They're marching to the beat of their own drum. They do not care about our feedback. They ask for our feedback, but then they don't implement any of it. So it's very frustrating. So all of that to be said, in this company town, there is a factory that everybody works in, and you cannot go into the place unless you work there. But every once in a while, for holidays, like for Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, I think for Christmas, I don't think they did it for Christmas, but they will bring vendors in for the employees who are working crazy hours and don't have the luxury of leaving, to buy stuff. And they do it for Valentine's Day every year. And I have never once been able to get into this market, despite the fact that the vast majority of my my customers are employees, and they're adults, and this is not for kids necessarily. I sell to a lot of parents and kids, but I mostly sell to adults. So that's real telling. And plushies are very popular. I do exceptionally well with this crowd, and it is hurtful that they would exclude me from this particular event every single year. And I do not understand why. And there's never enough vendors. That's the problem, is they complain, the employees complain every single year that there is not enough options and that people upsell like crazy. Last year, my husband bought from this market because he works there, and he brought me the most pathetic, sad $75 3-flower bouquet that I have ever seen in my entire life. And he was like, I waited in line an hour for these. There wasn't enough flower vendors. They ran out of stock, and they were just handing people these terrible bouquets and charging full price for them. And he's like, I am so embarrassed, and I am so sorry. This sucks. I am sorry. I was trying to get a nice thing for you, and they failed us on this account. And we came from a different location where they also did this specific, the Valentine's Day market, and they did a fantastic job. They had tons of vendors. There was more than enough, so there wasn't crazy lines for everybody, and you were able to get in and get out. It wasn't very long of a wait, and these people have to clock out to do this, so they're not on the clock waiting in line for an hour. They're not getting paid for an hour because they can't get enough vendors, and yet I'm begging and pleading to go, which I can take a good handful of those people and sell them cute heart things that they can buy for their little teddy bears or whatever. But they're just, I don't know. I don't understand the negligence in their job. Like, people, these employees have so little time and having variety, and they're already my customers. They're already my customers. And I have people all the time tell me, oh, I put this thing I bought from you on my desk and so asked about it. So, I sent him your Instagram. So-and-so is asking if you could make whatever, da, 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 da. This is happening all the time. They're like, oh, can you make my favorite character? So I do a lot of special orders. But this is my clientele. And the fact that I have to fight tooth and nail to try to get into a market of my people is insane. It's absolutely just mind-bogglingly insane. And it's infuriating because as we all know, if you are a handmade seller, if you are putting your blood, sweat, and tears, well, hopefully not your blood on the plushies, that doesn't come out very easily, but tears do apparently, because my tears are all over these. If you are pouring your heart into making these handmade items, and I'm not getting cheap material. I did it in the beginning. I did in the beginning because I just needed to get by to get my craft down. So nothing against, inexpensive material by any means. But I've gotten to a point where I do this full time. This is my job. And I invest good money into good products that are hypoallergenic and that are high quality, durable. And I take the time to do this right, so that this is something that can be passed down from generation to generation. This is a special. This is the lovies. This is the childhood gift that your auntie gave you. This is important. I've lost a good handful due to like specials like that due to lifing and losing things over moves, or someone like accidentally getting rid of something that was like my grandma gave me, or stuff like that has happened. And it's always such a huge bummer, but those few childhood memories that I have left, or even just the memory of the doll, it matters. And I talked to my husband about this. He had a Teddy Ruxpin, and it meant everything to him. It was his favorite, and he really, really wished that he still had it. But it was one of those things that during decluttering, they're like, he's a teenager, get rid of it. And now, he has his own kids, and he would have liked to be able to give that to him. And it matters a lot, to the point where like my brother is a toy collector, and he's like, I will find him one. I will hunt one down for him. And we're like, actually, like maybe one of these days, because they can be kind of pricey. But his dad actually found one for him, not the original. He thought it was the original. It was not, but still, he found one for him in the box, and it sits on our shelf. It's like it's on display. So it matters. It matters a lot. These plushies, these handmade items. That's not handmade, but it's like I have a baby blanket that was made for my kids that we like put out on display. It was not made by anyone I know. That's the interesting thing. So we were in student family housing. We were on Medicare. Like we were trying to put ourselves through college. I had to drop out. My husband was the only one that could go, because like we just couldn't. I had to work and raise the kids, and he focused on school so he could work at this corporation. We gave up freaking everything. We lived off of pennies. And I gave birth to our last son in that town, and I got a blanket from the hospital from a nice woman who made a baby blanket for people like me who didn't have much. And like, it's gonna make me cry. And it's a really well made baby blanket. And even though the kids have grown up and grown out of it, and and stuff. I'll toss it on the back of the couch. I'll put it in the blanket bin. We have a blanket bin. My kids are obsessed with blankets, and they use, like, right now there's like 12 blankets out on my couch. Anyway, it matters. It matters. The handmade stuff matters. I don't even know that woman. I just know that she never met me. She didn't make it specifically for me or my son. She made it for somebody in the hospital who needed it, and I needed it, and that was awesome. And the nurses decided, you know, it's at their discretion who got what, and they decided that I got that, and that was cool. So I'm feeling very devalued by having to fight tooth and nail to get into this show, and I have a couple options. I can get a hold of their boss's boss again, and just be like, hey bro, this sucks. This is like, I've been asking them since last year, and still have not gotten a yes or a no, just a nothing. And I did get at the last market, they said, we're keeping it in mind to have like plushies or something this year. I'm like, cool. The ones that are like mass bought on Temu, or are we talking about, you know, handmade plushies that are made in the community for the community that you're selling these for? That would be cool. That'd be real cool. So I try not to make this I try to make this a positive place, and I want this to be positive. I want this to be about the craft, but this is a reality of the craft is some people are not going to value the time and effort and skill that is put into these items. And those people kind of suck. And whether it be from outright negligence or from just being mean people, it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. So my feelings are hurt, and I am struggling to, like, I have a lot that I need to get done today. What is happening? My TV decided it needed to put on a very loud screensaver. That was weird. Anyway, yeah, this is reality. This is a reality. I tried other shows. I made nothing at one of the shows. I made $200 at the other show, and it was far away, and it's a lot of effort. So after like buying dinner and everything, and the cost of the fee to be at the show, I made $100, and it wasn't great. So that's the reality of if I'm going to do shows, if I'm going to sell in person, I'm going to have to deal with bad shows and fighting tooth and nail to get into the shows and all that. And it's just frustrating. On the flip side, there is a big show back in my hometown that is twice a year. It's huge. It is oversaturated, but it's huge. So they do allow the Temu crochet vendors. So there's a bunch of them, and they're all carrying the same stuff. And last year there was a crochet handmade seller, and she that was there, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So I could totally go do that. I could sign up for that. It's like $350 though. So I haven't signed up for it yet, and I'm thinking it would probably be smarter to do the one in December, because but then here's the hard part, is that I don't know when they're going to be doing the farmers market here, and I could end up being double booked. I will definitely sell. Well, I can't even say I will definitely sell more there. I don't know. I feel like I would sell more there than I would sell here, possibly. But I also don't have that much inventory. So that's something that I am actively trying to get more product out. Um, and that's struggle because everything's handmade. I often think back to a clockmaker that I still want to buy one of his clocks so bad. It's on my, like, you know, frivolous fund list of things I want to buy. But there's a guy that, and I don't even know if he's still there, but he makes clocks. It's in California. He makes these beautiful cuckoo clocks, and they take so much time. And I know he's not even charging their worth. They're expensive, but I honestly, I would be surprised if he's making his money, really making enough money back on that, because um, of the work, the woodman, the wood workmanship, gluing every single one of those parts, sanding down everything. Like, you got to think about how long, especially when it's made from scratch, how long it takes to put those together. Like, I'm not making this yarn. I'm not shearing the plastic trees that this is actually plastic. It's not like wool or anything, but like, I'm not doing all the work to make this. I'm just buying a skein and then crocheting it together. So I'm not to undermine, like, the hard work that I'm putting into it. But there are some crafts where they really have to, like, go fell the tree, and they're doing everything from scratch, and then they're charging pennies for days of work. So that's, like, there's a leather vendor that I see every once in a while at these events, and he made me the cutest purse. I love it so much. And he'll actually, like, dye. He'll sometimes get, like, pre-dyed stuff, and he'll, like, dye the leather, and he cuts it out, and he doesn't just, like, use pre-done patterns. He'll create patterns, and there's different levels to the crafts that we're doing. So there's some people who are just like, I'm learning, I'm trying to figure out how to make my own patterns, but I'm not great at it yet. I'm still figuring it out. And in the meantime, I am very much a use other people's patterns kind of person. So I'm going to enjoy somebody else's pattern. Okay, I've got 3 of 8 of these done, so I'm trying to, like, gotta get this out. So anyway, that's my rant. I'm a little flustered. It's disappointing that they are being so crummy. But on the plus side, I have an amazing family. Okay, I'm gonna have to count this again. Okay. Back to the, my family's awesome. I have some good friends. I love what I do. I'm building my audience. I'm trying to get, my husband and I are talking about, like, what are our retirement plans? Where are we going to go when we're done working like this? All that. So we're taking a trip. So here's a positive. We're taking a trip back to California, because we're still considering lots of different areas. But my family's in California. We love California. I will pay the California tax because I would rather spend less per month and have to be more frugal and have beautiful weather every day, and a community that is kind to each other. I'm from San Diego. I've lived in Santa Barbara, Riverside, and LA County, and I have experienced great community in all of those areas. So it depends on where you live and who you choose to interact with. So it's our home, and we want to go back. And we've been saving, like, we've been together over 20 years, we're both mid-40s. We've been saving a long time. We finally have some money to put down on a house. So we're trying to figure out like what our next step is. And we're not in a huge hurry. So we're gonna go out there and drive around San Diego, LA, and Santa Barbara. LA is just for a dentist appointment. Dentists have been an issue where we are. Resources, food, everything is an issue where we're at. So we're going to take the kids and go. They're already super familiar with San Diego because that's where my family's from. So that's a no-brainer. The kids love it. They're like 100% we'd move there in a heartbeat. But one of them was born in Santa Barbara and we've only driven through there once at night in the last 10 years since we left. And we loved it there. Medical's great. It's a little more small town community. Yeah, great food. Surf is a little easier than San Diego, which is kind of more my speed. And I think I would do very well there with my crochet. So I need to do a little research because it is a lot smaller town than, San Diego. I have more competition. So I really needed to kind of dig in and look around and see who's selling in that area, so I'm not stepping on any toes. Because I will have to rebuild my clientele out there. But I know some people out there still, and I feel like I can get reestablished. So it would be good. I just need to see if the kids like it. We want to take a look at some of the old houses. We have houses with a lot more character out there. So that is very cool. You can get a lower cost with better character, which also is going to mean we'll probably have to do more maintenance. Because a lot of those houses are like early 1900s. It's crazy. There's some real oldies there. So we're gonna go take a look around. We're gonna see if the kids like it. We already know that the schools are good, arguably better than most of them in San Diego. And yeah, we're gonna go figure out our next step, and that makes me feel hopeful. But while I'm here and this community, with these people, I want to provide a service to them and make sure that they are getting, memory plushies. And I mean, I've gotten to make some really cool stuff for some really cool kids. And yeah, I love it. I love it so much. So I'd like to just keep this legacy going. And unfortunately, this market and the people who run this market is the one that is the most lucrative for me. So I'm just going to keep trying to get them to be nice. So I don't know. Wish me luck on that. I need to plow through these, and I'm slowing down because I'm talking. So thank you for joining my TED Talk today, and wish me luck.